welcome back to part 6 of my how to brew a black IPA. We're on to the second runnings of the batch sparge water now. We've left it 15 minutes. I'm now taking a sample as I roll off the second runnings. I'm getting a hydrometer test, and after I've got that calculation, I'm pouring it straight back into my brew kettle. As you can see here now, I have all of my wort taken from the mash tun and over into the brew kettle. If I get my head out of the way, you'll be able to see that I have 27.5 litres of finished wort. I've missed 5.5 litres, I think that gives me, from the original 33, so that's still inside the grain. That's what you lose to absorption. But 27.5 litres is really good. Just showing you here, don't ever rely on the sticky label that's on the side of these fermentation vessels that you buy from homebrew shops. They're rarely correct. Mine was out by nearly 2 full litres. So once you've done your first runnings hydrometer test and your second runnings, it's always good to do a pre-boil gravity check. This one's going to take quite a while to chill down, but I'm guessing that I'm in and around the 1050 mark. And if that's correct, it'll get me within the ballpark area of my predicted original gravity of 1055. I may have even done a bit better considering I got quite a lot of wort out from my mash tun. The wort is nearly at boiling point because I already had the boil kettle on whilst I was bringing my first runnings over. So we're about 15 degrees away from 100. And as soon as I get there, I'm going to add in these Simcoe hops. Okay, we've just started to boil, so I've got my little hop bag here, my little micron bag. Gonna hop in the hops, no pun intended. Get those up there. I always spin them around like this, just so I don't have any hops going into my beer. It just makes it harder for me in the end. I get a couple of knots placed in this. Slide it over your mash paddle, or whatever. Just so it's not going down to the bottom, touching the element. That's it. Start the brew timer and go make some granola bars. So next up, let's make some granola, just as kind of like a bonus recipe. I've got some flaked oats. They've been hanging around. I've got some of this this spent grain here. I'm just going to throw it in. How much? Don't know. Throw in some seeds. I found open sunflower seeds. Going to throw them in. No idea how many. Desiccated coconut here. Just throw in a bit of that because that's a bit fun as well. What's in here? Flaked almonds. Throw those in. Sultanas. Yeah. I like sultanas, so throw all them in. Not sure how many that is. I've got some figs here. Just going to smash them up with the knife. Whatever you find that's open, then I'm going to pop in a small bit of melted butter. I like oats. I'm going to throw in quite a lot of these. That much. However much that weighs. That's it. I've got chocolate here. Not going to put that in, but when it comes out, I'm going to put it on top. I've got some blueberry pancake syrup that we've tried and we're not really mad fans of. Let's throw a bit of that in it. Got some maple syrup. Definitely want to get some kind of liquid sugar in there. So golden syrup, maple syrup. Get a bit of that in there. Don't be sure. Shake it in the microwave, melt it a little bit, throw it in there. Or you could do it with a bit of oil, I guess. Whatever you have, doesn't matter. This bit could get a bit wild. I'm not going to lie, I don't think I've ever put this amount in. I'm going to turn it on and off. There we go. Make a decision. Am I happy with that? Probably. What does it taste like? Burnt? No, it tastes like granola. Chuck it onto a baking tray. Needs a bit of flat. So I've just used the roasting tray. I'll throw it in a dishwasher later on. Spread it all out. I can tell you, It tastes better than it looks. Looks dark because I've got a lot of dark malt in here. I'm just going to leave that on about 180 degrees, so maybe like 25-30 minutes till it crisps up and gets a bit sticky. I might test it, taste it. If I feel like I want to put a bit more syrup on it or a bit more oats through it, I will. Actually, I might put some oats in it. Let me just throw that whole bag in it. Absolutely tons of it. And I can just throw it all in the freezer. So the recipe is whatever you have, chuck it in, throw it in the oven, job done. About that much flour? I don't know. Let's try that. Salt, bit of that, small bit of sugar, not too much. Something like that. Give it a quick knead, add a little bit more flour. Put a bit of tea towel over the top of that, leave it for 2 hours, knock it back, prove it into little dough balls or in a loaf tin and cook it in the oven on, I don't know, like 200 degrees. Fire in a bit of water when you shut the oven to make a bit of steam as well. Yeah, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on what you're making. Good. Okay, so the boil is doing nicely. We've got 15 minutes to go, so we want to sterilize things now. We're putting in the wort chiller. Be careful to mind the elements. I'm going to put a bucket there, so I'm going to catch all the water. I'm going to leave the water to go cold, and then I'm going to use that water around the garden, so we're not wasting anything. I've just put in half a WALK-THRU tablet because that's all I need for this amount. Sprinkled it straight in. It's debatable whether I even need one because I'm doing a black IPA. I'm not trying to find it so it's got huge amounts of clarity, but if it takes away any of that polyphenol rich grains with tannins in it or anything like that, I'll be appreciative. However, also I'm going to be using a hot bag to strain out here, which is something that not a lot or if anyone does, but I do it. Seems to work for me. I'm going to get my 10 grams of Simcoe in now, which is my last boil hop. And I think I'm just going to add it to this one here, but this could be a bit tricky now because that is red hot. Let's see if I can undo that. So my decision making for how I was going to hop this beer, it was based around wanting to, isomerize some hops for bittering. But pretty much the rest of it, I only want as aroma at the end. I'm going to get plenty of flavour from the Whirlpool and the dry hops that I'm going to do with this beer. Everything has been cleaned up, so as I've gone, I've put things in the dishwasher. I've cleaned up my mash tun and dried it with one of the big towels I had out. That's why I have a lot of towels around, so I can just dry things in kind of like an industrial manner and not worry about them, then just pick a whole lot up and just chuck them in the washing machine afterwards without having to think about it at all, go and fetch anything. It's been the easiest brew day ever. That's it. It's so simple when everything was prepared beforehand. The other thing I do wish that I had another hop bag. I've got one more like this, but it's going to have my Whirlpool hops in it. Okay, so now I have to get my Whirlpool Hop Edition ready, which is 25 grams of Simcoe. Got a little bit over there. Stick to the recipe brand. $25 and 30 grams of Mosaic. Both of these are packets because they were unopened, and my scissors have all been dipped into the sanitizer because we're cold side now, so anything that comes in contact with the beer now can potentially ruin the beer, add bacteria that I don't want. So looking for 30, so that'd be 55. Got my second hop bag ready, and it's been sanitized as well. And so have my hands, by the way. I just dip my hands straight into the... I always dip my hands straight into the sanitized bucket. Now, bearing in mind these were all boiled yesterday, these hop bags. I do need to get clean ones though, brand new ones. Hopping that into the boil right now, and we're counting the timer from here on in. I'm actually whirlpooling at 93 degrees Celsius. To be honest, I would have rather done that at 80 degrees Celsius. 90 degrees Celsius is going to get me more bitterness in the beer. For that reason, I'm going to reduce the amount of whirlpool time. I think I got it at 20 minutes. I'll just check now, but I think I'll reduce that by 7 minutes. I'll go 13 minutes. I think that'll be plenty at this amount. We want to get as much aroma as we can, so I'm going to lift up that mash paddle and I'm going to stir it around to get some of those aromas and flavor compounds from the oils, the volatile oils in the hops, to meld in with the beer. We've also got a post-boil gravity reading that is chilling down behind me, so I'm going to check to see where we are post-fermentation in case I need to do anything drastic, which I don't think I do. So if you are getting value from these videos, do smash that like button and hit the subscribe. You can even hit the bell button to get notifications when the next video in the series will come out. It all helps to get it out there and to get people the information they need on how to brew a little bit better, and hopefully I'll be learning a thing or two along the way. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for part 6. In part 7 we're going to finish off that whirlpool, chilling down the worts, aerating the wort in the fermenter, adding the yeast and getting it in the fermentation fridge. That's up next.